Hello and welcome to Kashmir Now. I'm your host Shreya Savijay. Let's take a look at some stories of this week's episode. Activists from illegally occupied GB and POK slam Pakistan for its atrocious attitude during the 46th session of UNHRC. To enrich the higher education of Jammu and Kashmir, one-day workshop on capacity building initiatives conducted in Srinagar. Sale of Chakri wooden craft items in Rajouri continue to increase. And later in our section of Incredible India, we'll take you to experience the nature at its best with two wonderful floral festivals. Pakistan again faced backlash at international platform when its duplicity regarding the illegally occupied regions of Gilgit-Baltistan and POK was exposed by the activists during the 46th session of UNHRC. Highlighting the sufferings that the people of these regions have been going through for the last 7 decades, activists urged the Council to take serious note of violations committed by Pakistan.
Ever since Pakistan illegally occupied a part of the then princely state of Jammu and Kashmir, it has been committing numerous atrocities on the people of this region. Be it arbitrary detentions, extrajudicial killings, or the persecution of political activists, people living in these occupied territories are facing them all. Moreover, there is no freedom of expression, and social as well as mainstream media is used to defame activists and label them as anti-state and foreign agents. During the ongoing virtual session of United Nations Human Rights Council, activists from Pakistan-occupied Kashmir once again brought forth all these barbarous activities of Pakistan. At an intervention made by a political activist, Nasir Aziz, he urged the Council to ask Pakistan to release all political and rights activists who were peacefully fighting for their fundamental and basic rights.
There are strict restrictions on freedom of expression, freedom of opinion, association, press, media and publications. Which hunt of the political opponents, Kashmiri nationalists, is continuing. Social and mainstream media is being used to defame activists, labeling them anti-state, anti-religion and foreign agent. Though in our areas never ever held free and fair election, recently Pakistan imposed new restriction on nationalist parties. Any person or political party that pledges to work for unification and independence of state of Jammu and Kashmir is not at all allowed to form organization. We urge upon ICR to take serious note of these violations and ask Pakistan to release all political activists, including British Kashmiri nationalist Tanveer Ahmad.
Another activist, Shaukat Ali Kashmiri, drew the attention of the Council towards the grim human rights situation in illegally occupied Gilgit-Baltistan and POK. He highlighted the issue of Tanveer Ahmad, a British Kashmiri journalist and activist who was brutally beaten, illegally arrested and jailed by the Pakistani security forces. Shaukat Ali even urged the international community to intervene and save Ahmad's life.
A British Kashmiri activist and journalist Tanveer Ahmad was arrested in August 2020, tortured by agencies and security forces after he removed Pakistan's flag from a popular public place in Mirpur Azad, Kashmir. We have raised this issue at HRC and asked Pakistan for his unconditional release, but he is still in jail. We are deeply concerned about his deteriorating health conditions. His life is under real threat.
The plundering of lands, killing of innocent people, arrest of activists, and many more crimes have become an everyday event in Gilgit-Baltistan and POK ever since they have been illegally occupied by Pakistan. Although Pakistani government refutes all such charges against them at international platforms, activists have time and again kept on exposing the routine abuses perpetrated by the country on the innocent people of these regions.
Next, we move to Jammu and Kashmir, where several capacity building initiatives are being taken for the betterment of youth and its bright future. The recent one in the row was a one-day workshop organized at a college in Srinagar to devise vocational and integrated programs in the colleges of Union Territory.
To foster a sense of ownership and empowerment in the youth, to strengthen their skills, knowledge and confidence, the colleges in Jammu and Kashmir are keen on taking capacity building initiatives to enrich the higher education. Working on the same lines, one-day capacity building workshop was organized at Islamia College in Srinagar. Officers from Higher Education Department, faculties of the Indian Institute of Management or IIM Ahmedabad, and officials from National Thermal Power Corporation or NTPC and principals of Government Degree College of Jammu and Kashmir attended the workshop. Conducted for identifying the areas where partnership can be formed with institutions like IIM or NTPC, the workshop also focused on taking new initiatives to develop the education sector of Jammu and Kashmir. These may include faculty skill development and workshops, research and collaborations, new pilot projects in technical courses, vocational courses and apprenticeship training.
Basically, higher education has been rolling out a lot of initiatives under the current leadership, and this is one of the important initiatives that higher education has taken. By connecting us with IIM Ahmedabad, this is a premier institution, management institute, and National Business School, rather NTPC Business School. So these are two big institutions which our higher education department wants that they should give us capacity. They should do capacity building of our leadership, our principals. They should run summer schools. They should run internships, and number of things. So number of initiatives have been identified.
While we revise our curriculum to suit the requirement of the current job market and also the latest technologies getting integrated to the learning process, this association of NTPC and IIM Ahmedabad is going to enrich the higher education department of Jammu and Kashmir and colleges to devise some vocational programs and some integrated program of regular degree programs for internships, apprenticeships, leadership programs, faculty development things to happen, so that we teach students and our faculty gets geared up to give those inculcations to the students which will be useful for them as job creators, to become startup owners, or to be a professional in any of the corporation or organization.
New short-term technical courses along with vocational and other technical courses were also introduced in all the colleges of Jammu and Kashmir as a part of capacity building initiatives. It will help youngsters to get training in a short period and explore career opportunities for themselves. This pilot project will soon be incorporated in one of the colleges in Srinagar and one in Jammu, which will then be followed by all the government colleges in Jammu and Kashmir. The attendees at the workshop highly praised the efforts that the government is taking to make the higher education much more efficient.
The kind of initiative the government is taking are wonderful to take the higher education, become more relevant to the social realities of today and take the country forward. And we in the process as an institution, individually as a professor and as an institution, whatever we can contribute would be very, very happy. Because motto is one, take the state forward, take the country forward. Some of the initiatives which we thought were like one of the leadership development program. How do we make the head of the leadership in the academic institution visionary, strategic thinkers, take the institutions forward in to help the nation grow further. The faculty development program is strengthening the content of the program how do we make the students ready to take up the challenges of the corporates and their professional career.
Jammu and Kashmir has already taken a number of steps towards capacity building, which is a process of developing and strengthening the skills, instincts, abilities, processes and resources that organizations and communities need to survive, adapt and thrive in a fast-changing world. Uran, an initiative for training the youngsters of Jammu and Kashmir, is a major step taken in this direction. Others include a 5-day capacity building program for key resource persons, in which around 37,000 grade 2nd and grade 3rd teachers across Jammu and Kashmir were trained. A day-long capacity building program organized by Jammu and Kashmir government for sarpanches and panches to facilitate them discharge their responsibilities effectively. A 3-day capacity building program for the officers of Jammu and Kashmir on general fund rules, e-procurement and government e-marketplace. Many more such initiatives are continuously being taken by the authorities in Jammu and Kashmir, which will go a long way in strengthening the ability of individuals, organizations and sector in order to develop creative solutions that address community issues.
Whenever we hear about Jammu and Kashmir, we are quick to picturize Srinagar, Pahalgam, Gulmarg and some other common destinations. But the places where the real beauty of Kashmir lies are yet unexplored. To unravel these beautiful offbeat destinations for the tourist, authorities are taking a number of initiatives. The latest one was the 3-day tourism festival that was held at a lesser-known Doodh Patri village of Budgam.
Covered with snow-clad mountains and meadows of pine, fir and deodar, Doodh Patri is a magnificent hill station that lies in a bowl-shaped valley in the Pir Panjal range of the Himalayas. Though secluded and unexplored, the village recently got filled with vivid colors of joy and exuberance as it hosted a 3-day tourism festival. Organized by the Department of Tourism in collaboration with the district administration Budgam, the event aimed at promoting the village as a tourist hotspot.
दूध पत्री में मुझे लगता है दिस इज़ द अमेजिंग प्लेस, बहुत ही ज़बरदस्त जगह है जहाँ गुलमर्ग की तरह, पहलगाम की तरह, सोनमर्ग की तरह खूबसूरत वादियाँ हैं, पहाड़ है, नदी नाले हैं और इस वक्त भी देखिए बर्फ़ की चादर चारों तरफ है। तो ये एक ऐसी डेस्टिनेशन है जो अभी तक उस तरीके से जो है इसकी पब्लिसिटी नहीं हुई है और आज का जो इवेंट है उसको हमने डिस्ट्रिक्ट एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन बडगाम की वसादत से इकट्ठे मिल करके इसको सेलिब्रेट करने का फैसला किया है ताकि दूध पत्री को भी जो है बाकी डेस्टिनेशंस के तरफ से प्रमोट किया जाए। और मुझे पूरी उम्मीद है कि आज जो यहाँ टूरिस्ट की बड़ी तादाद आई हुई है, हमारे एम्बेसडर बन करके वापस जब जाएंगे तो आने वाले जो पर्यटक होंगे या जिनको अब प्लान करना है, they will definitely come and love this place.
Around 42 kilometers away from Srinagar, Doodh Patri village in Budgam literally translates to Valley of Milk, and the reason being the water flowing through the meadows looks like milk from a distance. The tourism festival organized in the village not just enabled tourists to enjoy the snow, but also provided a wonderful opportunity to adventure junkies to experience the adrenaline rush. Stalls erected by small entrepreneurs as well as various departments, including those of agriculture, horticulture, handloom and handicraft, too grabbed a number of eyeballs.
इनमें जो एक्टिविटीज़ रखी गई विंटर ओरिएंटेड एक्टिविटीज़, वही विंटर ओरिएंटेड एक्टिविटीज़ आज भी यहाँ पर हो रही हैं और बहुत सारी एक्टिविटीज़ जिनमें से अब स्नो शूज़, स्कीइंग, ATV एंड बहुत सारे आज ऐसी एक्टिविटीज़ हैं जिनको फ्लैग ऑफ किया जाएगा एंड कल्चरल प्रोग्राम्स एंड शोज़, बहुत सारी चीज़ें हो रही हैं ताकि ये डेस्टिनेशन को वापस मैप पर लाया जाए कि जितने सारे टूरिस्ट हैं जो शायद कुछ पल के लिए भूल गए थे कि दैट दूध पत्री इज़ एन ऑप्शन, अब वो आ सकते हैं और इन्जॉय कर सकते हैं।
For making the festival livelier, a cultural event was also organized wherein dancers dressed up in traditional attires grooved on the beats of Kashmiri music, enthralling the audience. With such events organized on regular basis at various offbeat destinations will not just lead to their inclusion in the itinerary of tourists, but also bring a revolution in the tourism industry of Jammu and Kashmir.
Moving on. The splendid work of art and craft in Jammu and Kashmir makes it famous all over the world. Be it embroidery, blanket making, steelware or the woodwork. One or the other kind of elegant artwork is present almost everywhere across the territory. Though with the ushering of modern age, some of these artworks have lost their sheen due to high cost of production as compared to machine-made articles. But somehow, few of them have still survived heavy odds. Chikri Woodcraft, whose main centre is Rajouri district, is one among these artworks that continue to capture people's attention even in today's date.
Markets decked up with Chikri wood crafts ranging from ornamental to household items form a common sight at Shahadra Sharif village located in Thana Mandi Tehsil of Rajouri district. Practiced over a century, this craft is still a means of livelihood for thousands of people living in the village as well as in adjoining areas. Though amid COVID-19, their business got a bit hampered, but now as things are slowly returning back to normal, the charm of Chikri wood has started alluring people again.
हमारी तकरीबन शॉप जो है वो लगातार जो 3 महीने बंद रही, उसके बाद फिर टाइम टेबल पे खुलती रही है, मतलब 3 घंटे 4 घंटे, तो उसमें हमारा काम कुछ नहीं था। तो अभी जो है वो बिल्कुल वैसे जैसे कोरोना से पहले था वैसे ही चल रहा है, तो मतलब बिल्कुल अच्छा, हमारा काम भी अच्छा है और लोग भी अच्छे आ रहे हैं।
The popularity of Chikri wood in Rajouri is such that even the architecture of Shahadra Sharif Shrine, the religious site that forms the most sacred destination of Muslim pilgrimage in Jammu and Kashmir too, includes the beautiful carvings made of this wood. Outside the Dargah, there is a small market where around 300 families are involved in the business of selling Chikri wood crafts. Moreover, as the holy site is visited by hundreds of people from different parts of the country every day, many of them are seen turning to these shops to buy the shining wood items.
दूर दूर से लोग आते हैं यहाँ पे, जो लकड़ी के सामान है या घरेलू जो लकड़ी के बने हुए चमचे या बाकी जो घरेलू सामानात हैं खरीदने के लिए आते हैं, और उनका यहाँ पे कारोबार चलता है। ज़ियारत पे लोग जब आते हैं तो वो फिर से शुरू हो गया, तो इनकी आमदनी में भी इजाफा हो गया, ये भी खुशहाल ज़िंदगी गुजर कर सकते हैं।
Chikri is basically a type of wood which is very smooth, ivory colored and contains no grains. The wood is washable and its color doesn't fade easily and is thus used for making utensils as well. It grows mostly in Rajouri and therefore artisans involved in the business of Chikri wood crafts are mainly found in this district only. For many, it's their ancestral work and they also keep on displaying it at several exhibitions held across the country to help them get recognition.
जो चिकरी वुड है, मैं आपको बताता चलूँ, ये हमारे जे.एंड के खासकर हमारे रजौरी के लिए डिस्ट्रिक्ट रजौरी में एक अलग तरह का एक प्लांट है जो सिर्फ रजौरी जो थाना मंडी के एरिया हमारा हिल एरिया वहाँ पे पाया जाता है। वो चिकरी वुड जो है ये बहुत ही एक कीमती और कॉस्टली पेड़ है। इसके बहुत से जैसे खिलौने हो गए, और साथ में जो हम मंदिर में जो जलाते हैं उसके जो हमारी मूर्तियाँ बनती है भगवान की वो चिकनी वुड से बनती हैं। तो चिकनी वुड है, इसके कंगी भी बनती है जो हम सिर में मारते, कंगी होगी, जो कड़छी होगी जो हम घर में यूज़ करते हैं किचन में, कड़छी होगी, और बहुत से मतलब छोटे छोटे खिलौने हो गए, बहुत सी चिकनी वुड की बहुत आइटम बनती हैं। तो मैं अपील यही है, मैं आपके माध्यम से जो हमारे युवा हैं उनसे अपील करूंगा, इसमें चिकनी वुड के जो बिजनेस है बहुत अच्छा बिजनेस है, इसमें बढ़ चढ़कर हिस्सा लेना चाहिए सभी को।
The government efforts to provide artisans with proper platforms to display their products have proved to be a boon for chicory wood craftsmen in getting exposure. But if more such efforts will be made in this direction, it would definitely encourage them to bring out new carving designs having a better national and international demand.
Spring is just around the corner and Indians are all set to welcome its arrival with huge pomp and show. A number of festivals or galas are being hosted around the country to give people an opportunity to rejuvenate themselves for the coming season. So, today in our section of Incredible India, we take you to visit 2 such festivals to soak your senses in the floral charm that the spring season offers. Varieties of flowers blooming in their full glory, making the atmosphere more refreshing and colourful. This is what one gets to witness in the city of love, Dehradun, as it hosts its enamoring spring festival. Inaugurated by the state's governor, Baby Rani Maurya, this year more than 150 varieties of flowers were displayed under the categories of cut flowers, flowers in potted plants and edible flowers. Held in the state's Raj Bhavan, the festival hosts a number of floral exhibitions and competitions with an aim to give boost to floriculture and bring prosperity in the lives of farmers living in the mountainous regions of the state. Several stalls were also set up during the 2-day exhibition where farmers were informed about several government schemes besides making them aware about the modern equipment of horticulture.
अनेक प्रकार के अनेक प्रजातियों के फूल, बॉन्साई, और हम कैसे प्रकृति से जुड़ें, कैसे नेचर से जुड़ें, इसका संदेश देती हुई कुछ फूलों से डेकोरेट करके वो लगाई हैं, फोटोग्राफ कहिए या झांकियाँ। तो सबसे बड़ा इसका उद्देश्य यही है कि हमें प्रकृति से प्यार करना सीखना चाहिए। इससे हमारा पर्यावरण भी अच्छा रहेगा, वायु शुद्ध रहेगी तो हमारा स्वास्थ्य भी अच्छा रहेगा। इसके साथ साथ जो हमारे अन्नदाता हैं, जो हमारे किसान हैं, उनकी आमदनी भी कैसे दोगुनी हो, इस बात को भी यहाँ प्रमोट किया जा रहा है।
A total of 171 organizations who promote floriculture put up their stalls during the event. Bunches of roses, daisies, lilies and more such flowers were arranged in straight lines as citizens enjoyed taking a walk through nature. Apart from that, different competitions like flower petal painting were also organized in which around 135 students participated.
स्प्रिंग फेस्टिवल का मतलब होता है कि जब फॉल यानी कि विंटर्स जाने लगते हैं और बहुत रंग बिरंगे फूल और चारों तरफ हरियाली और सब सुंदरता आने लगती है, तो उस समय का जो मौसम है वो अपने आप में एक उत्साहित करने वाला मौसम होता है, खुशबुएं होती हैं। तो उस समय राजभवन का एक ये कार्यक्रम जो होता है ये सबके अंदर एक वाइब्रेंस ले आता है। उस समय होली का भी समय होता है, तो बहुत अच्छा लगता है यहाँ आके। और देखिए सजावट सीखता है आदमी, बहुत सारे लोग नए नए जो बच्चे साथ में आते हैं वो सीखते हैं, और साथ में ना रोज़गार के लिए भी बहुत सारे अवसर दिखने को मिलते हैं, प्लेटफॉर्म मिलते हैं कि हम चलो पुष्प सज्जा में भी जा सकते हैं, पुष्प उगाने में भी जा सकते हैं। बहुत सारी चीज़ें आर्टिस्ट जो अपने अंदर का होता है वो निकल के बाहर आता है।
Another such festival was organized in the capital city, New Delhi, at the Garden of Five Senses. Visited by locals, the festival celebrated spring season by promoting plantation and floriculture. Caricatures made up of flower petals and waste products like plastic bottles were put on show for the locals who were seen enjoying and clicking pictures in the festival. Visitors enjoyed taking a walk through these stalls and seeing new varieties of plants.
It's a wonderful experience, and I must congratulate Government of Delhi for organizing such activities. It's good to pass your time, right? And it's, you get to know so many new, like this time I have seen hydroponic, which is really very good, and other species of other flowers and plants. So it's really good experience, so to say.
Organizing such events can play a significant role in reviving the floriculture industry as well as inculcate habits of plantation and gardening among locals for collectively bringing about a change in the climatic conditions. That's all we have for you in this week's episode. Till we see you next week, it's goodbye from the entire production team.